All right, let's get into this story. Picture this, a beautiful little village called Panchapur. It's peaceful, idyllic, you know the kind of place. But right in the middle of it all, there's this shadow, an old mansion, a Haveli. And this isn't just some old building, it's a place that absolutely terrifies everyone because it holds a very, very dark secret. That's the one piece of advice you get in Punpur. It's the warning that every parent tells their child. Why? Well, the villagers whisper these chilling stories about a terrifying old woman who haunts its halls. She's like this ghostly figure who keeps everyone away. So, yeah, it's the one place you just don't go. But this long-standing uneasy truce between the villagers and the Haveli is about to get completely shattered. See, the whole dynamic is thrown into chaos when four strangers show up in town. They're modern, they're confident, and they have a claim that's going to shock everybody. So who are these people? Well, we've got Rajiv, his wife Ria, and his two brothers, Raman and Prem. They roll into this quiet village and announce that they are the legal heirs to that dreaded old mansion. Their plan? It's simple. Sell the place, which they think is worth millions, and get rich quick. And this is where you really see the clash of two different worlds, right? For the villagers, that Haveli is a place of real, deep-seated fear. It's about curses and spirits. But for these newcomers, it's just a piece of real estate, a golden opportunity. When the villagers try to warn them about the ghost, Ria just laughs it off. She's like, who believes in ghosts anymore? I'm gonna take some pictures for Instagram. So of course, they don't listen. They push past all the warnings and step right inside. The place is, well, it's grand, but it's also incredibly eerie. And then, lurking in a dark corner, they see her, the old woman from the legends, with this wild white hair and these vacant, haunted eyes. But when they go to confront her, she doesn't try to scare them away. Instead, she whispers these really strange words. And that one word, treasure, it changes everything. In an instant, any fear they had just evaporates, and it's replaced by this blinding, all-consuming greed. So just like that, the plan to sell the property, totally out the window. Now it's a treasure hunt. That crumbling old mansion is suddenly a potential gold mine, and they are dead set on finding whatever is hidden inside. The very next day, they come back. But this time, they're not alone. Oh no. They've rounded up over 100 villagers, promising them a cut of the treasure. Turns out, the call of greed can be way more powerful than the fear of a ghost. So it's absolute chaos. This huge crowd starts tearing the place apart, searching everywhere, and after hours of digging and pulling, they find it. Hidden under a pile of rubble, there's a staircase leading down to this dark, hidden cellar. And there it is, a heavy, ancient iron chest. The moment they see it, this massive wave of excitement just erupts. Everyone's shouting, they're cheering. They haul this heavy thing up from the cellar and into the daylight. This is it. Even the old woman starts dancing around, chanting, my treasure has been found!" You can just imagine the tension, right? The air is thick with it as they're all gathered around, struggling with that rusty old lock. Everyone's thinking gold, jewels, stacks of cash. So what was really inside? The lid finally creaks open, and there's this collective gasp. And then just dead, stunned silence. There's no gold. There are no jewels. Lying inside on some faded old cloth is the tiny skeleton of a baby. Seeing those tiny bones, it's like a dam breaks inside the old woman's mind. The madness seems to just wash away, and it's replaced by this overwhelming flood of painful memories. With tears streaming down her face, she starts to tell them the truth, the whole horrifying story of her life. We learn her name is Gauri, and she wasn't always like this. She was once young and happy, the mistress of this very mansion. But her entire world fell apart the day she gave birth. The problem? She had a daughter, not the son that her husband and father-in-law had so cruelly demanded. And the story she tells, it's just horrific. Her family completely rejected her newborn baby girl. Her husband, desperate for a son, went to a sorcerer who gave him the most monstrous advice imaginable. Sacrifice your daughter, and you'll be guaranteed a son. And so, down in that very cellar, they murdered their own infant child. When Gauri found out what they had done, something inside her just snapped.
In a blind rage, she grabbed a knife and killed them all. Her mind completely broken by grief, she put her baby's body in that chest, her only treasure, to keep her safe forever.
Back in the present, Gauri's confession hangs in the air. The crowd is just speechless. But Rajiv, the supposed heir, he doesn't feel any pity. All he feels is rage. The rage of being cheated out of his promised fortune. He actually screams these awful words at Gauri. And then he kicks the chest, sending it scraping across the floor. And that final act of disrespect, it's the trigger. The protective mother that has been dormant inside Gauri for decades just ignites with pure fury. All of a sudden, she's not some frail old woman anymore. She starts fighting back, and it turns out she's had a plan all along. She leads the scammers into a series of traps she'd set up years ago to protect her daughter. Rajiv plummets into a hidden pit, Rhea gets trapped in a room swarming with rats, and Prem goes sliding on a patch of oil. She was always defending her treasure. All this commotion, of course, brings the police. After they hear Gauri's unbelievable story, the officer turns to Rajiv and his crew and asks the one simple question that is going to unravel their entire lie. And just like that, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. They've got no papers, no proof, nothing. They confess to everything. They're just con artists who heard a rumor about an abandoned mansion and cooked up a scheme to illegally seize it, trick the villagers, and make a fast buck. But what happens next isn't about revenge. It's about healing. The community, now that they know the whole tragic truth, decides to act. They want to punish the guilty, sure, but more importantly, they want to heal the deep, old wounds of the past. So, first, the 4 scammers are arrested. Then, the villagers all come together to give that poor infant the final rights and the dignity she was denied all those years ago. Gauri is gently taken to a mental health facility to finally get the help she has needed for so long. And the village decides the story of this Haveli isn't finished yet. And this is the truly amazing part. In this incredible act of transformation, they take the Purani Haveli, a place of so much fear and violence, and they turn it into a school for girls, a place of hope, of empowerment, of education. Today, outside that school, there's a plaque with those words. The place that was born from a mother's worst nightmare has become a safe haven for the next generation. It ensures that the real treasure of the Purani Haveli is no longer a chest full of bones, but the bright, promising future of every single girl in Poonpur.